right, guys, welcome back to some daily content. That intro didn't even feel like normal, but we're just gonna work through it right now. Who cares at this point? Anyways, today we're gonna be talking all about strict handstand push-ups, how to approach strict handstand push-ups in a workout where it has a lot of them. You know, not just like, I was like 5 every now and again. No, we're talking like a lot. So, and increasing deficit. So how to kind of approach those kind of strict handstand push-ups. So without further ado, let's jump into the workout and we'll talk about what it is and how to approach them. So we are off in 3, 2, 1, getting it. What are we doing here? So you'll notice I'll be on this side, depending upon if I flip the camera, who cares at this point. I'm on there doing it after these guys, Olivia and Andrew went first. They're on the other side. And what we're doing here is a power snatch in a strict handstand push-up workout. So for Andrew and I, what Andrew and I are actually doing, we're doing 20, 15, 10, 5 of power snatch with increasing weight, and 20, 15, 10, 5 of strict handstand push-ups with increasing deficit. So the first round is gonna be 20 power snatches at 115, followed by 20 strict handstand push-ups, regular, okay? The next round is gonna be 15 power snatches at 135, followed by 15 strict handstand push-ups at 4 inches, then on to 10 power snatches at 165, followed by 10 strict handstand push-ups at 6 inches. Then finally, our last round is 5 power snatch at 185, followed by 5 strict handstand push-ups at 8 inches. So kind of like an increasing weight and an increasing deficit with decreasing reps. Olivia, on the other hand, considering for her age division, because she's only 13 right now, she does not need to be doing strict deficit handstand push-ups. We have her mainly focusing on strict handstand push-ups since they do have to do them in the open, they had to, and probably in the open qualifier, at least the open last year. We have her focus on just regular strict handstand push-ups. Now, I will say this, her strict handstand push-ups, we've been working on them. They're not gonna be stellar and they're not gonna be great to watch. One thing we've been working on her is the concept of a super broken midline. So if you watch her kick up, you might notice like her hips kind of like dip back and kind of go towards the wall. So we're working on it right now. If I wasn't doing overhead squats in the corner during her workout, or if Andrew was actually watching her, we would have probably harped on it, but no one's watching her right now, so we digress. So anyways, for this instance, she's just doing regular strict handstand push-ups, no deficit. It's gonna stay the same. Her power snatches does go up. Her power snatch weight will go up from 65 to 95 to 110 to 125. For those of you females at home, that's probably gonna be your female weight. We don't really give a whole lot of concessions to Olivia, considering she's pretty good at what she does. So normally, if we had a 13-year-old teenager roll in, we would not have her do this weight. But because it's Olivia and she touch and goes the majority of the weight, we say you're doing full female weight, no complaining. So, yeah, so Olivia, again, if you're a female doing this, probably just follow Olivia's weight. If you're a female doing this and you're not 13 and you can do strict handstand push-ups, I would advise you increase with the deficit and don't just do regular strict handstand push-ups like Olivia's doing throughout the whole course, the whole workout. So, scaling options for this workout, and then we'll jump into the strict handstand push-ups discussion. Scaling options for this workout obviously comes down to what you're capable of for power snatch, right? So if a 185-pound power snatch is hard, or if you're gonna fail a 165-pound power snatch, I would say go down in weight. Like if some of these weights are unobtainable and they're difficult, then just go down in weight. That's the easiest recommendation I can give you. So, for instance, for a male, if 165 you're gonna fail it, and 185 is just gonna be super difficult, it's gonna take you forever, then I would probably say do 95, 115, 135, 165 is my recommendation. So essentially you're cutting off a whole weight category at the end and adding one in the beginning towards 0, right? Same concept for females. So if 125 is too heavy and you're just gonna start failing, it's gonna take you forever, then I would say add another weight on the other end, on the left-hand side. So maybe do like a 45, 65, 95, 110, and then be done, right? So there's 4 rep schemes or 4 weights you should be using. If you are strict handstand push-ups, if that's difficult, it's the same concept, right? So if you can't do strict handstand push-ups at a deficit at a certain height, like if 8 inches is way too much, then cut that off and add something to the front end. Now I realize you can't add like an opposite of a deficit for a strict handstand push-ups. You could add ab mats, I guess, is one option. Or you could just do a couple rounds of strict handstand push-ups. So if you can do strict handstand push-ups, but you can't do it at 8 inches, then maybe do the 20s and the 15s at regular do the 20s and 15s at regular strict handstand push-ups, and then save the deficit for the 10s and the 5s, where in that case, you'd only get up to a 6-inch deficit, right? You do a 4-inch and then a 6-inch. So that'd be my recommendation. Same concept for scaling used for the power snatch as you use for the strict handstand push-ups. One thing you might notice is we're changing our own weights. So this would be a lot faster had we not changed our own weights, so bear that in mind. If you have someone change your weights, it'll speed up the process. I was not available to help Andrew and Olivia change weights, so we only made it fair. That way I had to change my own weights too to make it a fair timing schedule. All right, so discussion on strict handstand push-ups and how to approach workouts that have a lot of them. When you approach workouts that have a lot of strict handstand push-ups, the first thing you need to realize is you need to know what you're capable of, right? So you need to know at what point muscle fatigue will set in and you'll start blowing up. So if you're gonna be doing a lot of strict handstand push-ups, and say we have 20 of them, or 50 of them in the case of like the open workout from 19.3, if you go to straight muscle fatigue and come back, you're just gonna fall apart. So you need to realize what you're capable of and when you should break. And that's kind of the smartest piece of advice I can give you, to be honest, is you need to look at it and say, and that comes down to just doing it, right? It doesn't come down to, oh, I'm just gonna guess. It comes down to days and days and years worth of doing it and knowing, okay, I know I can do this many strict handstand push-ups, and at that point I need to break, and maybe I can come back and do a smaller set. So Andrew's a pretty good example. Like, he knows how many strict handstand push-ups he can do until he needs to break. Olivia still hasn't got that down yet, but Andrew and I have that down. We honestly kind of know. So if you watch me do the first set, I did 20 unbroken strict handstand push-ups because I knew that pardon me. One, I knew that I wasn't coming back to strict handstand push-ups immediately, right? And there's built-in rest to change weights and to change deficits, so I knew there was a lot of transitional time. If you told me to do 50, I'm not gonna knock out 20 unbroken, I'm gonna break it probably at 5s or 10s. But because this workout exists and I have built-in rest to change my weights, built-in rest to change the deficit, I know that I can do more than 20. I mean, I could do 20 and then take a long rest and change weights and snatch and then come back to it. So, my best advice is know what you're capable of. And the only way to even do that is, again, to go off and practice things like this. To go off and be like, okay, today I'm gonna do 50 strict handstand push-ups and see what I'm capable of. And that's kind of the best recommendation, is do a monostructural, meaning like one movement piece of just strict handstand push-ups and see, okay, you know, what's the best way of doing 50 strict handstand push-ups? What's the best, fastest way for you to get it? Is it 5s? Is it 3s? Is it 10s? Is it a huge set and then do smaller sets, like maybe 20, 10, 10, 5, 5? What does that look like for you? And it's gonna be different for each person, but you need to realize that it's specific to you, not specific to me, not specific to Olivia, and not specific to Andrew. So that's my best piece of advice, is really when it comes down to workouts that have a lot of strict handstand push-ups, you really need to know what you're capable of. And that's really different than kipping handstand push-ups, because kipping, you can really keep going because you're relying on your legs, but your strict really relies on your upper body press. And if your upper body press goes, well, then you're up a creek without a paddle, and it's just gonna become really, really difficult to catch up. I mean, I think a lot of people really kind of realized that in, 19.3, when we had to do 50 strict handstand push-ups. Like, no one had ever done that many before. And then especially when you got done with 50 and then had to go handstand walk, it really came down to how much do you know your body and what's your upper body endurance look like for pressing and holding out. And that's really the biggest part. So Olivia's finishing up here. She finished in like 8:32. I'm not gonna sit here and give you an excuse of, well, granted she did strict handstand push-ups all the way through with no deficit. That's still pretty solid considering in her age division, she's probably only gonna be doing regular strict handstand push-ups. They're not gonna have her do deficits at her age, unless she goes to the games. But even there, I really doubt it's probably gonna happen. But one thing to fix for her is we need to fix her kind of like midline stability and her ability to stay a little bit straighter and not break so much at the top. Like, it's okay to break. It's okay to break as you're going up and coming down, but at the top, if you break too much and your butt hits the wall, they're definitely gonna no-rep you. And especially if there's a standard for a height, you can't have a broken midline for that either. So just words of advice there. So hopefully that discussion on strict handstand push-ups really helps you out, that you need to know what you're capable of, practice it, focus on maybe just doing sets of 50s, maybe like twice a week, do a set of 50 and realize what's the fastest way for me to do 50? Okay, for the fastest way for me to do 50 is to break it up this way. Then you kind of extrapolate that if you have to do more, or kind of, you know, not extrapolate it, kind of digress it if you have to do less, essentially. Not sure if digress is the right word, but who really cares? Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and we will talk to you guys later.